Good morning. Okay, I have been trying to clean out the freezer. It's a Sub-Zero freezer, a big chest freezer. And we had a lot of hamburger. I've already done butter, ham, haven't done any turkey yet. I've done chicken. I'm trying to clean it out so that I can turn it off. I was working on that, and I found in the bottom of it, which probably has not been seen the light of day for many, many years, two turkeys and 3 hams. Or that's what I've got downstairs now. I've done 2 hams, so there were 5. There are now 3. 3 hams and 2 turkeys. So I'm just trying to clear it all out and get it out of there. Okay, so I've already, this is the hamburger, this is the meatloaf. I'm doing meatloaf right now. I've already added dehydrated onion, which has been rehydrated. I've added pepper. I've added salt. I've added garlic. And I added half a jar of tomato juice. And essentially it was enough meat to fill up this bowl. I should be using the larger bowl, but the larger bowl still has a lot of hamburger in it that was thawed out from last night. So, the first thing, I'm going to dump this back in so you can see the whole process. I've added all of the ingredients and I mixed it up with my hands. I just washed my hands, but I'm going to get them all messy again because I had to do something else. So, I'm going to take you through the whole process. The canner is here behind me on the stove. Right here. And I'm going to take you through the process, let's put that away. I'm going to take you through the process of making meatloaf in a jar. Now I use these jars because I can just run a knife. There's no lip. Okay. If I used one of these, you know, there's a lip here at the top that the meatloaf couldn't get past. So I use the straight neck, large mouth, 1 pint jars. Okay, so I've already added all the ingredients and mixed it all up. So I'm going to put it in the jar, and I'm going to press it down and try to get out all of the air bubbles. Now, it's better if you use a low-fat hamburger if you can. I did these yesterday, and you can see the layer of fat at the top, and you can just take that off. It's not going to be a big deal, or you can use it for cooking or whatever. But that was hamburger. That was just hamburger. That wasn't meatloaf. This one's meatloaf. I don't know if you can even see the difference. Okay, so one of these is hamburger and the other is meatloaf. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take some more, and again, press it down to try to get all the air bubbles out. We don't want the meatloaf splitting into sections. All right, that needs to come out. We don't want the meatloaf splitting or having fractures in the jar. So a little bit more, and I need to pull my sleeve up some more. What you want is a 1-inch headspace with the meat packed into the jar as strong as you can get it. Now there's a gap here that formed when I put that new meat in, and I'm trying to fill that in. Okay. But you want a 1-inch headspace, and it's okay if it's fudged a little bit in one direction or the other, but about 1 inch. Then I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm opening my bottle of vinegar. You put some vinegar on the paper towel. Now this is the side of the paper towel that I have not used. And I'm going to wipe the rim. And this has to be done. I'm going to go ahead and do the other jars that I had done previously. This has to be done before you can put the lids on. And now these are really messy. So there's going to be, I need to turn this inside out so that I can continue to use. I don't want any grease. The vinegar will cut the grease, and I don't want any grease on the jar when I put the lids on. Okay, I probably should have cleaned these off before I started using the vinegar, but I didn't. Because they are really messy. There's a lot of goop. It's not goop, it's hamburger! Okay. Alright, so I'll have to redo those, so that'll take a minute. Hold on. Because those 2 jars that I did before had a lot of meat. All over the outside, on the rim. Okay. Now, I've only done 3. I'm going to keep going as long as I have this size of jars, which is just another couple, and then I'll need to go looking for some more. Okay, now, I reuse lids, and I've posted a video about that, about reusing lids. This lid, okay, you can see that there's some spots where the coating has started to wear off. The ring is still intact, but I'm not going to use that one because it's got places where the ring is rusting, where the lid is rusting. Okay, so no rust. The rim is intact. It isn't bent. If you look at it straight on, it's just flat. The ring around the outside is intact. There are no bubbles. There are no splits in the seal. If I push the popper down, it just pops right back up on its own, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this lid and put it on one of my jars and get a ring. And this will go, it's not going on right. Sorry, this lid is going on crooked. I'm going to have to get a different ring. Try this one. Because the rings sometimes get warped, and this one's pretty old. It looks like it has some rust on the inside. Okay, that's ready to go in the canner. All right. These are the lids that were on the bottles when they were in storage. So, no rust. The lid is not bent. There's no bends. There looks like it might be a small bubble right there, but other than that, it looks clean. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this one and pull out a ring. All this is going in the canner cold. This is a cold pack process. Alright, that's going to have to be washed. Hold on. Apparently there was some stuff on the outside that I did not see. That still looks clean. It's underneath the rings, so you need to be careful about that, because anything that is inside your ring can end up underneath the seal. You don't want that. So I'm gonna take care of this again, and that's why it gets kind of tricky dealing with anything that has grease in it, because the grease can keep the bottle from sealing, and it's happened before. It's just a fact of life, in a sense. Here's another one. And here's our third bottle. It doesn't look like it has any of the goop around the outside, and I already cleaned off the top. Okay, so I'm going to take another one, and some of these lids are pretty old. And it's actually funny because I had a conversation with someone who many years ago who said that the manufacturer says, right? The manufacturer says that the lids haven't changed. And yet now they're saying that they're only good for a year. So there's a lot of stuff to go into that, but here is, okay, here's two lids. One that is probably 20 or 30 years old, another one that is only about 10 years old. Can you see any difference between those lids? Yeah. The sealant ring is much thinner on this one. There's less sealant on it. The design of the lid is slightly different. This one has a popper. This one has a popper, but the popper on this one stays popped. Popper on this one still works. There you go. All right, so here we have our third bottle, and I'm going to, here we go, I'm going to use this lid, put the lid on, and I think 10 minutes is quite enough. It's a little more than 10 minutes, but that's, you get the picture. When I do the canner, I will do 2 layers of pints and can them for 75 minutes. I'll talk with you later.